So it's a nice drill press.
Thanks.
Extremely, extremely nice.
Yeah, they had them for a steal in the stores because they stopped carrying them, so it was like $180 or something.
That is almost free. I would have to agree with you. One would have to come home with me regardless of how little I would press drills. All right, and a table saw.
Yeah.
Looks like a really, 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 really nice table saw too. It really, really is. Okay. Did you want us to do anything in this place?
Yes, this room is the room that I want to be finished.
Okay.
Basically, you know, I would want just a normal room drywall,
yeah,
framing and ceiling, and I would want a door cut there,
okay,
going into the room on the other side there that is already finished.
Okay.
That hole right there actually currently passes through to the HVAC system over there, and this room is pulling unconditioned air, moldy air into that room, which isn't really ideal.
Okay.
So we're trying to address that as well.
Well, let's go top to bottom. We're looking at a ceiling that. Are you okay with the amount of insulation? You want to add to it?
This insulation is all going to come down when they do the remediation.
That's fine. So we'll put up all new insulation.
I mean, it's a finished room above.
Yeah.
So whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
There.
Well, we need, and I'm gonna make an assumption that not is necessary. A drywall ceiling. Okay. And some people want drop ceilings, is the reason I say that. Need to add a 2x4 here to have something to attach to, or something, maybe just sister a little closer. And starting there, running down that wall, you've got a 2-inch gap between the bottom of the joist and the top of the wall, which will put up strips to attach to, or some kind of framing, probably a perimeter insulation thickness to enclose it, if that's a 2x4 or 2x6.
Okay.
To run your insulation off of your block.
Yeah.
Unless it's an insulated block and you want to go directly to that, we'll have a furring strip of some kind attached, and it can go all the way to the top, wrap the whole thing in drywall, and obviously you will want different lighting in here.
Yeah, I was thinking a couple of cans here and a couple over here.
Okay, and let's take a peek at your panel and make sure. I know we'll find capacity for can light. All the ductwork up here, you want us to box out for?
Well, here's what I was thinking. This is actually going to probably be a music recording room.
Sure.
So I've got a studio on the other side of the wall here. And so what I was thinking here was that I want to basically turn it into like a tray ceiling.
Right.
With the ducts. So this would come out, or this would be rerouted along the edge there.
Okay.
And this pipe here would just be the inverse of what it is now.
Perimeter. Sure.
Out.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then this would probably just go up, wherever possible.
Okay.
So I just like to minimize the
sure.
flow ceilings.
No question. And that can be pushed. That can be pushed up.
Yeah.
But obviously there's going to be a box. There's going to be an edge
there.
box for your 4-inch wastewater line, and you'll have to box out for your air handler. And you've got HVAC coming out 6 inches, which I don't think it has to. It can run tighter if you want a smaller box, except it comes out here, which is why they did the straight run. So
yeah,
I'm going to kind of make that multiple choices. We either box out for that, or I know an HVAC technician actually lives very close to you that can probably take this and route it up and tight and go down and down and in to save you a lot of space.
Yeah.
I mean, depending upon how sensitive you are to that, probably 1.5 square foot, and whatever cubic foot it is running down the wall. But you know, these are just observations of the challenges that we have. Leaving the light fixtures here, the drywall would fall here, so that you know your 2x4, what have you, along the wall, and unless you would like to have an alternative, which I mean, you know, it wouldn't need the conduit. You know, we just put in the drywall and the pop-in boxes. You know, and there's probably a good solution. Bunch of tubing in the back. Let's take a peek at.
Yeah, this is
a water treatment plant.
Yeah. So the only critical pieces are the blue, that's the well pump, and the water softener here. This can be moved. It's not even in use right now.
Okay.
And so, you know, there would be a closet here.
Yep.
And then with the foundation repair, they're going to put a sump pump in. And that's going to be in this back corner over here.
Okay.
So either one big closet or just a closet here and a closet here.
I would opt for one big closet because you're going to have need for closet space anyway.
Yeah.
And you can use this center portion and the sump pump portion really and put a shelf there.
Yeah, the sump pump is flush with the ground. Yeah.
And you can start maybe a foot above, and it could be a removable shelf so that you can have it enclosed and you can still have an opportunity to have usable space there.
Yeah. I don't know if this main water line here needs to be, you know, to get a closet a little smaller. I don't know if that needs to go against the wall and then come down instead of the way it's come there. But.
I've got some people who can tell us, and you're right, is that it connects there, and if you've got an angle, that angle can go closer to the wall.
Yeah.
And here again, your perimeter wall is enclosing the thing that's most furthest into the room. So if we can push it back even with the rain soft can, and maybe we can push the rain soft can even with the back wall.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I have here is to take that back wall into any kind of finished product or leave it a back wall.
Well, I guess it's not. If it was one big closet, I guess it wouldn't matter so much.
But that's things we can think about. You know, where this is the kind of project where we have, it's not an empty box. It's a box where we have to modify and change and tweak and push and pull.
Right.
So
this thing, I don't know I don't think anything can be done with this. So you can't put an angle on that, like a 90-degree angle on something like that. I wouldn't think to move it against the wall there, right?
Sure you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure you can. There's no question. I mean, you know, you keep the P-trap because I think they collect water so that the swamp gases don't come up.
Right.
And run it against the wall and turn that 90. But the only issue is that it needs a quarter-inch drop per linear foot.
Right.
And you had a fixed point connection piece there.
Yeah.
So to remove the hypotenuse and add the angle is going to increase the length, which that leftmost point might be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, we'll have to put a level on it, make sure that the slope is continuous.
Right.
At some reasonable point, and I think it'll satisfy the plumbing needs, which raises a question about permitting.
Right. Yeah, I think I do want to do the permitting.
Okay.
You know, I want this to be square footage that's figured in.
I recommend it because when you get to the point of selling, then you'll have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And
obviously, I don't even know if technically we need to move that since it's going to be a lot of closet here.
Sure.
Maybe you can just box it in. I don't know.
Well, we'll look at it and see. And there's a lot of you know. But the thing that I wanted to do is to come out today and you know, I'm gonna shoot some video and get some ideas of all of these points of repair, and we're gonna start finding good answers to all of these questions. Obviously, you know, you've got a recessed door. You know, maybe to frame out at some point and put in something. I mean, that's a really, really nice door. I'd hate to do anything to it, but here again, this is Durham.
Yeah.
And recording studios has expensive things in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, like I said, that's the question that we're going to answer, and you can think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
About what you really want to do with the door, and if you want a window in it, and if so, what kind of window, and all of that stuff, or keep what you have.
Right.
And
as far as the flooring, I would tile it myself.
Okay.
And I would do any like trim and painting.
Okay.
Any
Good.
baseboards and stuff like that.
Sure. Okay. So we can get the drywall up and get the framing done, and
we will need to add another
HVAC duct.
One duct in here.
One duct and a return of some kind, probably. And
well, yeah, I think you can use this hole here probably.
Okay. That's fine. And we'll work through all these points of repair. And can I see your panel? Your electric panel?
There's two of them. Yeah, the one that's easiest to tie into, I'll show you that one first.
Well, I'd like to see a punch out, because you're going to want outlets in here too. And if you're going to have climate control space, you're going to have a need for a couple of outlets. And I think one of them's got to be 4 feet away from a door.
Yeah. Doing some staining and stuff drying. I got plastic up.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now let's keep it cold and dry in here. And you can point the way to that panel.
Oh, the panel's right over here.
And I would just would like to take a peek and see. Okay.
Right here.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to open that door and. Take a peek. And you've got 6, so that's available capacity to pull from.
Yeah, there's another panel behind that wall right there, but this is a straight shot.
What on earth are you playing in there?
A lot of music.
No, I mean your guitar. I've got a '93 Gibson Les Paul, and I just bought my Webmaster a Paul Reed Smith. It was a gorgeous guitar.
I play mostly carbon guitars. Yeah.
Okay.
I got about 6 of them or so.
Yeah, they've got a recording studio off of Guest Road, and they wrap the whole thing in you know, the material that that people put on the beds flipped upside down. You know, the foam.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is like a 20 by 20 garage it's pretty much amps on every wall.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't have that many amps yet, but one of these days. But. What I was saying before about the mold remediation, this wall here, straight all the way down, is damp.
Okay.
And it's going to come down.
Good.
And then this back wall in the studio here, same thing. Back wall and this wall all the way to the front there. Would need drywall.
Is that hole visible?
Yeah.
Anywhere?
Yeah. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're right, it will. You know, everything is judged by cubic feet.
Right.
And it's something I let the guys that do that every day, they calculate.
Yeah. I mentioned before, but putting a door would be right here by this wall.
Let me see.
To go. I roughly measured it, and you should be able to fit like a 30-inch door here without interfering with anything in there. Okay.
And it's nice that it's in a corner.
Yeah.
And beside a door, because usually those are strong points, because you know that 2x12 headers and all that stuff in the wall is helpful.
Okay.
But I have a professional engineer. I tell people that John Deal tells us how to build things, and he's the only one qualified to do that.
Yeah.
And he'll write up everything that we need to do, and we'll get everything permitted: HVAC, plumbing, and electric. Those trades will all pull their own permits according to the laws of the city of Durham and county. And gosh, what else? What's your time frame?
Realistically, probably about 2 months from now is when you could start.
Good, that's fine. It gives us enough time to work out all of the weird stuff.